Hey everyone, this is Olwethu from the Cinema View. Welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a fun little video on why 2021 will be the year of chloezhao. Now, if you haven't heard of chloezhao, you probably will have heard of chloezhao by the time this goes up. Chloezhao is a Chinese filmmaker who has basically spent her life moving from country to country. She lived in the UK and then lived in the US and basically has lived in different parts of the Midwest in the US, I think, and has said herself that she's always felt quite nomadic and like she's never really had one home or one place. By the time this video comes out, I'm assuming she will be Academy Award winner chloezhao. Now, I first came to know chloezhao, I think in early 2019 or late 2018, when I first saw her second feature, The Rider. It stars Brady, who is actually a real cowboy rider in real life. It deals with the trauma of how that kind of riding, which is similar to bull riding, can affect the people who do it. Many obtain injuries and some can even be fatal. So it's quite a somber, contemplative study of a marginalized, poor community. And basically, if you've also seen her debut feature, Songs My Brother Taught Me, which is about a Native American family who is poor and living on the fringes of society, this is basically what the overarching theme in many of Chloe's films are about: marginalized communities, displaced people, similarly to Nomadland, where people who are on the fringes of society and how they deal with their situations, how they deal with their relationships with the people around them. And there's usually quite a spiritual beauty to her films. There's just something really special about her films, at least to me. This, for me, was pretty much my best film of last year. It is a beautiful, complex, difficult, at times, study of a woman who gets displaced because of the situation of where she is living in that town. And she goes on this journey where she gets in a van and this is where she lives, and she joins the life of a nomad. And you can kind of interpret for yourself whether you think that this is meant to be a good thing or a bad thing. Personally, I think that Chloe is someone that is not trying to put some sort of big message on this is good, this is bad. I think she's just kind of there to lend a lens and an eye to different communities, different marginalized communities, and to just see how they live, how they interact, and to just sort of learn from them. I think whether you feel like you could live the life of a nomad, there's a lot I think you could learn from Nomadland. And in the film, Nomadland has real life nomads who are basically retelling their own stories for the most part, which is a really interesting device to the film, where it kind of blurs this line between documentary and fiction. And I really love that about her films. I think it makes it so much more interesting and unique. You get to really look at a real life person's experience whilst also taking in the beauty and the naturalism of her films and of her filmmaking style. She tends to shoot in natural light. There is quite a naturalistic, simple, but still yet very elegant look to the style of her films and the way that she shoots. There's a lot of golden hour lighting, and there's a lot in Nomadland, and it's just absolutely stunning. There's one sequence where it's this beautiful long take of Fran, played by Frances McDormand in Nomadland, where she's walking through one of the Nomadland community where they're all kind of gathered, and she's walking through and just thinking and living and just being in the moment. And the way that it's shot and follows her is just so beautiful, and the light coming through, it's very, very reminiscent of one of my favorite filmmakers, Terrence Malick. Now, if you've never heard of Terrence Malick, I hope you have, but it's okay if you haven't. He makes very similar films to chloezhao. I wouldn't say that they make the same films thematically, but in the way that they shoot, I think they have similar styles. His most famous film is Tree of Life, and that basically, a lot of it is shot very naturalistic with lots of light coming through, and it's really beautiful. It was great to learn that Terrence Malick had basically seen an early cut of Nomadland and given his thoughts on what he liked, and basically, you know, a bit of a mentorship with chloezhao, which is so amazing because you can really see a bit of like an influence there, or a bit of like connection there with their filmmaking styles. And chloezhao has previously talked about one of his films, which is one of my favorite films from him, The New World. Her next project, which is coming out this year, Marvel's Eternals, which is one of my most anticipated films. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will link it down below. Eternals, as far as I know, I have not read the comics, is about a group of celestial beings who deal with the aftermath of Avengers Endgame. Now, when you look at the cast, as I've said in my most anticipated video, it is amazing. Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Lauren Ridloff from Sound of Metal, Gemma Chan, Kit Harington, Richard Madden, and Barry Keoghan from Killing of a Sacred Deer. It is just really, really cool, and I cannot wait to see what Chloe does with this film. This is quite a new territory for her. She has said that she really, really loves Marvel and she loves comic books, so that will be really interesting to see how she blends her more naturalistic style of directing and filmmaking with a huge blockbuster. What we have heard about the film is that Chloe basically did shoot the way that she wanted and was able to shoot mostly everything on location, which is really, really amazing, as well as getting to shoot some scenes, some sequences on 16mm, and as well as getting to showcase a lot of that golden hour lighting that we're so familiar with when you see her films. Award season hype, Oscars, Eternals, all in 1 year. This is definitely going to be the year of chloezhao. I'm so excited to see Eternals, to see Black Widow, to see Captain Marvel 2, which is going to be directed by Nia DaCosta, who I'm a big fan of. I'm very excited for Candyman, and if you haven't seen her debut feature, Little Woods, I would recommend that as well. It's quite good. This is hopefully going to be a really great year for female filmmakers, not just with blockbusters, but for the entire film industry, and I'm really excited. This gives people like me who want to make films like that hope. I cannot wait to see Eternals. I'm so excited to see it. The word on the street is that it's amazing, so yeah. This is the year of chloezhao. If you liked this video, which I hope you did, please subscribe, like, share, comment what other videos you'd like to see from me. Thanks for watching. Bye.